You're now watching Q News, and here are the top stories for this hour. A Syrian military source has announced that army units have bolstered their defensive lines in northern Hama, central Syria, thwarting any breakthroughs by the armed factions in the area. Meanwhile, our correspondent reports that Syrian and Russian warplanes targeted convoys of armed factions retreating to southern Idlib. According to Syria's state news agency, 2 airstrikes hit the city of Idlib, while Syrian state television claimed that over 1,000 militants were killed over the past 3 days. Thousands of people have been displaced in Syria following a recent escalation in attacks by the armed factions. Families have fled Aleppo and the areas surrounding Idlib, seeking refuge at a camp set up for displaced individuals north of Idlib. The displacement follows recent assaults by the armed groups, coupled with counter airstrikes and shelling by the Syrian army. This surge in violence has triggered the largest wave of displacement in 6 years, with over 10,000 families believed to have fled their homes. Syrian Foreign Minister Bassam Sabbagh reiterated the government's commitment to combating armed groups, emphasizing efforts to restore security, stability, and the territorial integrity of Syria. He further stressed the state's dedication to preserving its sovereignty and unity. The Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi is scheduled to visit Damascus today, carrying a message of solidarity with the Syrian government. Araghchi reaffirmed Tehran's support for Syria in its fight against armed groups and accused Israel of destabilizing the region following its failure to achieve objectives in Gaza and Lebanon. 7 Palestinians have been killed and others have been injured in Israeli airstrikes on Gaza's central and southern regions. 2 children lost their lives when a tent for displaced people near Khan Yunis was struck. 4 others were killed in the Palestinian city of Rafah while retrieving essentials from their destroyed homes. Another Palestinian died in a strike on a house in north of El Nusayrat refugee camp. Israeli airstrikes on northern Gaza have targeted a residential building in Tal el-Zatar, killing at least 40 Palestinians, including women and children, and leaving many trapped under rubble. Over 100 fatalities were reported across Gaza in 24 hours, with multiple bombings destroying homes in Beit Lahia, Jabalia, and Khan Yunis. Civilians waiting for aid were also targeted, further highlighting the worsening humanitarian crisis amid limited rescue efforts and severe destruction. Israeli occupation forces have arrested 4 school children during a raid in El Mughayr, northeast of Ramallah. Soldiers stormed homes, ransacked belongings, and took the children during an ongoing week-long crackdown. Earlier, the village had endured repeated raids, detentions, house demolitions, and military measures. Israeli occupation forces also seized a home for over 30 hours, turning it into a field of interrogation center, further intensifying pressure on the community. Former Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon has reiterated the Israeli ethnic cleansing and genocide in Gaza. He warned that Israel's actions align with the finance minister's calls to reduce Gaza's population and restore settlements, adding that war crimes are being committed in northern towns like Beit Lahia and Beit Hanun. Israeli media have reported that France has warned Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government about the risk of a breakdown in the ceasefire agreement in Lebanon due to violations. The Israeli media also confirmed that French authorities informed Israel that they had detected 52 Israeli violations of the ceasefire agreement in Lebanon within 24 hours. Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich stated that Israel will not wait for any mechanism and will maintain its freedom to act militarily in Lebanon. Smotrich, in a message directed to officials in Lebanon, France, and residents of northern Israel, emphasized that the primary objective of the military's actions is to eliminate any risks Israel might face, as he described it. And this concludes our top headlines for this hour. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates on Q News.